Peace and blessings, everyone. Assalamu alaikum. This is Imam Bilal coming to you live, late night edition of the On Point Weather Report, live here streaming on New Freedom Exchange on Facebook and on YouTube, and also New Freedom Network on Facebook and YouTube. Please like and subscribe. And we're also streaming live on the Muslim Journal YouTube. And we're coming briefly, if you this evening, to give some discussion as to the potential of a event that would bring some snow to the northeast New England region Sunday into Monday time period. This is something that's storm system has been shown on the American model for about a week, 5 to 7 days out. This was projected to happen from the American model. The European model has, up until this point, before this point, showed a storm that was more weaker and going due east, and not going due north, and more weaker, more flatter, less precipitation, not well defined, not well formed, and those elements. There are quite a few elements in play here that will come together, so that it seems that the European model has now aligned with the American model. Historically, the American model, as of late, has not been the most accurate model out of the forecasting models, or the forecasting suite of models that we have. But it might be on to something for this weekend, Sunday into Monday time period. There's been a lot of talk about the storm system over the last few days, especially as we got into this week. There was talks about blizzards and snowstorms and a lot of talk, but it was hard to pinpoint. And with these elements, it's always hard to pinpoint the accuracy, because there's a lot of factors that have to go into creating a favorable storm, a favorable track that will bring significant snow along I-95 corridor. Quite a few factors have to be in play, right, in order to produce an event that will give us accumulating snow in this region, right? So with that being said, this is the background of the storm system. Just wanted to give a little bit into that before we get into tonight's brief discussion as to where we are in terms of the guidance that's available to us tonight and going into overnight tonight, actually. So we are going to share some screens and show some of the latest guidance, and then go from there and perhaps come on later today. But I wanted to come on tonight to give some discussion to it. And then for those who see this video later, you can leave a comment or question or concern, and let us know what your comment is, and we'll get back to you in a timely manner with an answer to your question tonight. So we will get right into it. I want to show some guidance here that will be helpful for our discussion tonight. I'm going to share my screen. So, and I'm going to make this, nope, I definitely don't want that. Let's try again, add to stage. Okay, so let's do it. All right, I'm making myself a little smaller. Okay, so let's discuss it. Here we are. our good friends at Tropical Tidbits, who allow us to see into the forecasting models. The GFS suite 00Z is not loaded yet. We're going to go 00Z. The 00Z is still coming in. As you see, it's still loading up. We can only go up to hour 30. Let me see. Can we go further than that? Yes. Okay, let's do it. So here let's do tomorrow looks to be dry. So tomorrow would be your day to think about preparing, not think about preparing, but prepare your items from the stores. And as we move this time period up a little bit, you notice that our storm system is taking shape down here in the Carolinas. It will give birth to a system that would develop just due east around Richmond off the coast of Virginia, and starting to spread snow already into the DMV area, getting into soon eventually Pennsylvania, and getting to the state of New Jersey as we get into Sunday time period. And then it really ramps up, really ramps up. You notice the pressure of the storm is 998. And why that's significant to see a storm go 988 and eventually 977 shows significant, and then eventually 968 shows significant strengthening. And as we see the isobars, these lines of pressure, very tight, that means there will be deep strengthening, and we're talking about wind. Unlike the last storm, which we didn't really have much way of a lot of wind, we're talking about winds here gusting potentially 60 to 70 miles per hour, especially along the coastal line of Jersey Shore and Long Island, and getting up to Nantucket and up there in Martha's Vineyard and parts of Massachusetts, southern Massachusetts. We're talking about, and even inland, 40, 50 mile per hour winds can't be ruled out, coming from this storm system as it wraps up in intensity. We're talking about 968 middle bar storm, and pulling away into New England, eventually pulling all the way out on Tuesday. But these darker blue colors represent very heavy snow and wind. So that's New Jersey, getting into New York City, the 5 boroughs, and into Connecticut, into Rhode Island, into Massachusetts. This is an all right big snowstorm, very different than the last one that we had a couple of weeks ago, which poses a different setup here that we see here, very much different setup than last time. And I want to show, excuse me, the precipitation model, if I can. Yes. Let's do all right, according to the 0000Z suite, this is 10-to-1 snow liquid ratio, and we're talking about perhaps easily getting double digit snowfall accumulations, 10, 12 inches, a foot in some places, in and around Jersey, the Jersey Shore, Delaware, getting into Long Island, and even into the city. We could potentially be talking about easily getting up to around a foot of snow, according to the 00Z run of the GFS. We go back to the 18Z, pretty much shows the same. 12Z even shows the same. Especially along the bullseye, keep showing the Jersey Shore, southern New Jersey, getting into Trenton, the Philadelphia, Delaware Valley, and even towards Atlantic City, getting into the action. Right, it's been consistent showing that for most of southern New Jersey, but now in the 18Z model, we see more precipitation being more heaviest of the precipitation being thrown into central and the northern New Jersey and getting to New York City and Long Island. That's the difference between the suites here, the runs of these models. But it's been very consistent. The GFS model, there's several runs showing, and I'm just going back in time, but they've been pretty consistent all day today, producing again a general swap of heavy snow for the New Jersey area, getting to Long Island, New York City, Delaware, but even go back to the new suite. Even we talk about Delaware, we're talking about Maryland still getting several inches of snow, 48 inches perhaps in some areas, right? And even still getting up into our friends in Connecticut and eventually Boston, still getting in several inches, and probably will end up getting easily into the double digits too. I can see that happening in Connecticut, and I could definitely see that ended up happening up into Boston as well, going into later time period on Monday. This only goes out to a certain time frame, but nevertheless, we're talking about a decent snowstorm for the area. At least this is what they fill in. This is what the this model is showing. The GFS model is showing. Let us switch now to get out of here and go back to, I'm going to go back to the precip and moisture MLS. Look, going to go back and we're going to talk, let's talk Canadian. Let's see where the Canadian model was at tonight. CMC. This is the Canadian model. And I'm going to, going to fix this a little bit so we can bring back the frozen precipitation. Let's go back to hour 60. Go back in time a little bit. Let me see here. Let's refresh. Oh, here we go. All right, so the Canadian model is showing, I'm going to go back in time a little bit. Similar setup, right? A storm takes shape off of the Virginia coast, bombs out, and the placement is still similar in placement. A little further east on the Canadian model, at least this run has come in, but it's still throwing back moderate to heavy precipitation, Delaware, into New Jersey, especially South Jersey, and then eventually getting into North Jersey, Long Island, New York City, again Connecticut, and then Boston. I mean, Nantucket, Martha's Vineyard, definitely going to get clobbered for sure. At this point, it shows a strong 966 millibar storm. Again, wind is going to be a big factor here. Coastal flooding as a result to the coastal areas was a potential there. Some power outages is also potential. This will be a wet snow event, not like the storm a few weeks ago, which was fluffy because it was very cold. Temperatures will be, rather cold enough for snow. We're talking about between 32 degrees and 35 degrees. So just cold enough to produce snow. The way that this system is going to operate, it's going to dump heavy precipitation, 1 to 2 inches of snow per hour. When you get into the heavy banding of the snow bands, and it's going to compile. It's going to compile. It's going to be wet. That means it's going to be a lot of more water content. So it's going to be much harder to shovel. So much harder to shovel because it's going to contain a lot more water. So that being said, potentially again, we're in that time frame right now where we have to think about preparations and things of this nature, because the confidence level versus Monday, it's Saturday now. Monday didn't look too well because we had too much disagreement in terms of the American model GFS saying one thing, Europeanists saying the complete opposite, and now we're seeing agreement across most of the models. So that's the Canadian model we just showed. So let's go to, this is the AI version of the GFS model. And even the AI model shows, again, a similar placement in time. So we're going to go back in time. Again, storm system just off the coast of Virginia, tracks north and east, right? Still bringing heavy precipitation, and ends up in that same sweet spot, just closer enough to the coast, not far away, too far to the east, and not too far west where we have to worry about ice or rain and mixing of precipitation. It stays closer enough to the coast to wrap snow and bring back the snow into the area, into our region. So we're seeing that in play here. That even on the AI version of the GFS model, right? I want to go to the icon model, and show what the icon model is saying. And it's pretty similar. Our storm system develops right off the Virginia coast, comes slowly up, and then bombs out. Well, this says a 973 or 972 millibar storm, but again, placement, pretty much the same placement as the Canadian model. The GFS model are pretty spot on right now about where the storm system is going to track towards in terms of its location. Let's see the ECMWF model. This is another model here that shows, if we go back in time, something of similar nature. Our solar system develops off the coast of Virginia and drops. ESCMWF, still showing a slightly further east placement than the GFS, the AI version of GFS, the Canadian model, the icon model, still slightly westward position. And this is the AI version of that model. Let's go back a little bit and see what the difference is, right? See if we can get the difference, catch the difference here. Pretty much even the AI version of this model showing almost slightly similar positioning. Nevertheless, precipitation is still being thrown back into the same areas we mentioned: New Jersey, Long Island, New York City, getting into New England, Connecticut, up into Massachusetts, right? So the ensembles are showing us what's going on upper levels of the atmosphere here with our jet stream pattern and what will give shape to this storm. We have the ridge out west, which is going to create that digging pattern here with the northern jet digging, and you're going to follow that dig, and you see how it digs. You see this bulge in the jet stream pattern here out west, right? this bulge is going to create this tilt that we want to see. And you see it happening right about now, right about where that formation of that low is going to develop right off the coast of Virginia, right? And then eventually give birth to a storm system that would sit right here. But you see how deep that tilt goes down and then curves up is what they call a negative tilt. And that's going to allow the storm system to track closer enough to the coast. If this tilt didn't catch up to the storm system, it went due east. If it was more flatter, it would just went out to sea, right? But now since we have some players involved, that's going to give us a tilt, a perfect setup, if you would. That's what's at play here. Let's go to our. See if the NAM models and our short range models. Let me see. Let's see where the NAM puts us. I actually want to go back. I don't want this for the NAM. I want to see precipitation types. Let me see if we can get it switched. No. Yeah, here we go. Okay, so here's the NAM model. See how far we can go back. This is, let me see. Can we go to 06, 9? Okay, so we're gonna move this up a little bit. And I don't think, are we in play? Yeah, we're in play. We're in play. And there we go. There goes our storm right up here off the coast of Virginia. Again, showing heavy precipitation of snow, Delaware, New Jersey. And it really blows up. I mean, the NAM is spot on with the GFS pretty much as well, in agreement that we're going to see a very strong storm system, deep, very heavy wind, and also like very heavy precipitation too, in dark blues covering everybody, all in New Jersey, all in New York City, Long Island, getting up to Connecticut, and eventually Massachusetts as we go throughout the day, and eventually pulling away. I mean, the NAM is pretty much showing similar to what the GFS is showing. It's another version of the NAM, but at this point, that's what the guidance is computer models are showing tonight, as far as the storm system is concerned. Let's see. I'm gonna stop sharing right now. I'm gonna switch to another screen, so we can see another view or some more guidance from the National Weather Service as it relates to what's happening with our storm system. So I'm going to share this portion of the screen. Hold on one second. I'm going to share this portion of the screen. All right, so I'm actually going to move away. There we go. So at this point, we're looking at winter storm watches have already been issued. These blue boxes for southeastern Pennsylvania, Delaware, northern Delaware, all in New Jersey, and getting into New York City. So let's zoom in here. Actually, there's some pink up here. What's this? Purple, rather. Winter weather advisories. Those I presume that these advisories in Connecticut might go up, especially around Hartford, might go to winter snow watch. But all southern Connecticut, New Haven, Bridgeport, Stamford, New London, Middletown, Danbury, down to Hudson River Valley, from Newburgh down to Peekskill, down all the way down to Westchester, Yonkers, northern New Jersey, includes Newark, New York City, all under winter watches all the way out to Long Island, right? So let's read into the guidance here. Winter snow watch is in effect from 6 a.m. From 6 a.m. Sunday, from Sunday morning through Monday afternoon. So we're looking at heavy snow, and the National Weather Service right now is saying 6 to 10 inches possible. Winds gusts could be gusts up to 40 miles per hour. Again, much higher along the Jersey Shore and Long Island for sure. But probably more so 50, 60, 70 miles per hour. Don't rule that out. This includes portions of southern Connecticut, northeast New Jersey, and southeast New York. And this is from Sunday morning through Monday afternoon. Excuse me. So the time period, temperatures are not that cold with the storm system, but it's cold enough to give us snow. So even the forecast area. So let's discuss the advisory as of 6:04 yesterday p.m. We're talking about a heavy snow, rates up to 1 to 2 inches per hour, dangerous and impossible to travel, blizzard conditions closer to the coast. That's particularly central and eastern Long Island. So you get out to Nassau, further out to Nassau, but especially going out to Suffolk County, it's going to be hit pretty hard. Visibilities will be at or below a quarter a mile at times, particularly for the coast. We're talking about snow developing Sunday morning, possibly mixed with rain through Sunday afternoon, closer to the coast. But that's to the coast. Periods of heavy snow will start Sunday night through Monday morning, and we'll see precipitation start to taper off late Monday morning to Monday afternoon. Winds will be from 30 to 35 miles per hour from the north and northeast, with gusts up to 55 miles per hour. Possible Sunday night for central and eastern Long Island, especially from New York City and New Jersey, 20 to 35 miles per hour from the north and northeast wind, gusts up to 45 miles per hour. We could see some tree limbs go down, some power outages could be possible, and strong winds and snow load along the coast. And then we talk about some coastal impacts. Again, I said we could have some minor to moderate coastal flooding, especially as we get closer to the Jersey Shore, down to the Rockaways and southern Brooklyn and southern Long Island. Those are areas that we were concerned about possibly some coastal flooding in those areas. So definitely consider that as you make your plans this weekend. Pretty much we are in the bullseye for this storm system. Very significant in nature. Again, we only have a little time to prepare for this, but again, it's been projected since last week by the American model GFS. So interesting to see how it all unfolds right now. Let me see if any other models have come in. If not, we will end tonight. Yeah, we will end here. We'll stop here. We'll stop here and pick up later as more guidance comes in overnight tonight about what is expected tomorrow. Sunday, going into Monday. I'm lacking the consistency of the models that I'm seeing. I think we're seeing some agreement. There's some alignment happening right now. I do like the 6 to 10 inches of snow for the tri-state, New York City, New Jersey area. I do see bullseyes locally more happening, especially maybe central, southern New Jersey, maybe eastern end of Long Island, getting a foot or a little more. I won't rule that out. But based upon any more guidance we get tonight, those amounts could change. It could change in either direction, but right now everything's trending in the favor of snow period, and in favor of a moderate to heavy snowfall for the tri-state area. And that's looking to be, confidence is rather growing for that to happen, right? So overnight models might produce, some different results. If we see more a way of precipitation, we could see more a way of accumulation. This is possible. Is it possible that this could all change overnight and the models say this is not going this way? This is possible too, but as of right now, the consensus is pretty spot on, with most of the models agreeing that this storm is coming due north. Coming up north and a little bit coming up north and favoring shifting a little bit towards the coast, then going out further east. So that's where we're at tonight with this latest with the storm. We'll be back a little bit later today with another update later on. But I just wanted to come on tonight briefly just to give you all some update. But I would say start preparing tomorrow. The window is very tight. You don't have much time to prepare. So whatever things you would need to prepare yourself, get it tomorrow or today rather. So you'll be ready in case whatever happens on Sunday and going into Monday, you have what you need to be prepared. All right. So again, thank you for your time tonight or this morning. We'll be back with another update. And as always, we have our platform, which is open for subscriptions, the One Point Weather Report on Patreon. So we'll put that on the screen for the people to be able to subscribe and get updates right away. And if you are feeling generous, you can also become a paid subscriber as well. And I am not seeing that. Hold on one second. There we go. This is the Patreon. If you are wanting to subscribe for more updates from the One Point Weather Report platform, definitely hit up the Patreon as well. I'll put it in the comment section for those who are listening and who may watch later. You definitely are welcome to subscribe for updates at any time, and you will receive them in a timely manner. This is your On Point Weather Report with Imam Bilal on streaming on New Freedom Exchange and New Freedom Network and the Muslim Journal News. Please subscribe and share. Again, hit up the Patreon link with your subscription. Subscribe, and we look forward to your comments and questions if you have any. Thank you so much. Peace and blessings. Good night. Assalamu alaikum.